If this video keeps finding you, don't ignore it. Not because of coincidence, not because of algorithms, but because moments like this don't repeat without a reason. You didn't plan to be here. You didn't search for this. Yet somehow again you stopped, and deep down, something inside you already knows. This isn't random. This is interruption. This is timing. This is God reaching for you in a moment when you needed Him more than you were willing to admit. You've been scrolling past encouragement, skipping prayers, telling yourself you'll deal with things later. But this message keeps returning, and it's not because God is chasing your attention. It's because He's protecting your future. There are seasons where heaven speaks softly, and seasons where it repeats itself. When God repeats Himself, it's not impatience, it's urgency. Something ahead requires a decision now, not later. You've been carrying more than you show, smiling when you're tired, saying I'm fine when you're overwhelmed. You've learned how to function while hurting, how to survive without resting, how to believe without feeling. And still, God has watched you keep going. He's seen the prayers you stopped saying out loud, the tears you wiped before anyone noticed, the questions you never asked because you were afraid of the answers. This video keeps finding you because God sees you standing at a quiet crossroads. One path feels familiar, safe, predictable, painful, but known. The other feels uncertain, uncomfortable, and requires trust you don't feel strong enough to give. And you've been delaying, hoping clarity would come without obedience. But clarity often follows movement, not comfort. You've asked God for signs, and when He sends them, you second-guess. You've asked Him to speak, and when He does, you wonder if it's just your thoughts. But let this be clear. When something continues to find you, it's not to pressure you, it's to prepare you. God doesn't interrupt your life to confuse you. He interrupts to realign you. There's a pattern you've been stuck in. The same disappointment, the same emotional exhaustion, the same cycle that promises change but delivers regret. You thought time would fix it. You thought strength would fix it. But God is showing you that some things don't break until you release them. Some doors don't open until you stop knocking on the wrong ones. This message keeps returning because God is asking you a simple but difficult question. Are you ready to let go of what no longer carries life? Not everything you're holding is bad, but not everything is meant to stay. Some attachments feel holy because they're familiar, but familiarity is not the same as purpose. You've been asking God to change your situation, but He's been trying to change your posture. You've been asking Him to remove the storm, but He's been teaching you how to walk through it without losing yourself. And this moment right now is not about fear. It's about readiness. God knows you're tired of starting over, tired of hoping again, tired of believing just enough not to quit, but not enough to feel peace. And that's why He keeps reminding you, you are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not disqualified because you struggled longer than others. Delay does not cancel destiny. If this video keeps finding you, it's because something is shifting beneath the surface. You don't see it yet, but resistance always increases before breakthrough. Confusion often comes right before clarity, and exhaustion shows up when you're closer than you realize. You've been interpreting resistance as failure, but God sees it as confirmation. The reason this season feels heavy is because it matters. The reason you've been tested is because what's ahead requires depth, not surface-level faith. God is not punishing you, He's preparing you. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of obedience, a version that sleeps without fear, that prays without doubt, that walks without constantly looking back. And God keeps sending this message because He doesn't want you to miss the moment that changes everything. You don't need to have all the answers today. You don't need to feel brave. You don't need perfect faith. You just need willingness. Willingness to trust that God sees what you can't. Willingness to move even when clarity feels incomplete. Willingness to believe that obedience now will make sense later. This video isn't here to scare you. It's here to steady you, to remind you that you are not walking alone, even when it feels silent. God has been closer in your quiet moments than you realize, and He's been guiding you even when you felt unsure. So don't ignore this moment, not because something bad will happen, but because something good is waiting, something you've prayed for, something you've almost given up on, something that requires you to stop delaying and start trusting. Let this be the moment you stop asking for another sign and start responding to the one you've already been given. Let this be the moment you choose faith over familiarity, obedience over comfort, trust over fear. Because if this video keeps finding you, it's not by accident. It's because God is calling you forward right now. And if this message spoke to you, don't walk away unchanged. Take a moment, reflect, pray. And if you want to stay connected to messages like this, subscribe to Faith Revealed, where reminders like this meet you exactly when you need them most. You're not late. You're right on time.